Hi, hope you're all doing well. Welcome to today's Lunch and Learn. And today I'm talking about that old classic about your ideal client avatar. Now, you may have heard this before millions of times, and you may have tried to do or think about your ideal client and who they are. But it's really, really important to do this exercise properly and really understand who your ideal client is. Now, the reason for that is because this ideal client exercise and you knowing who they are is absolutely critical to the success of your business. And if you don't know this in detail, your business won't have the real foundations to move forward, and your marketing is going to be a real confusing message, right? So what is your ICA? You may have, it's the general term for ideal client avatar, is the kind of general term that people use. And it represents your one single perfect customer, right? Your one single perfect client. They're going to need and want your content, your products, your services, and it's going to be the person that you love to work with most. So they're going to want you and need you the most, and you're going to need and want to work with them the most. So you get this win-win thing. So once you have your niche, which I've talked about before, the most important thing after that is to identify this ICA and make sure you're absolutely clear who they are. You're then going to be able to target your message, your marketing, your branding, and your content to that particular one person. And you're going to get that you're going to really relate and resonate with them, because they're going to listen and read your content and feel like you know them inside out. And they're going to say, yes, this is for me. She's talking to me. I must work with this person. And that's kind of how it works. You need to delve really deep into their mind and understand all of their problems, their fears, their challenges, and their desires. When you do this, the more understanding you're going to show about them, the more empathy and connection you're going to create. And surprise, surprise, when you know all this information, you won't be sitting there going, oh, what content am I going to create? Or what am I going to put in my next post, social media post? You're going to know exactly what your ideal client is needing and wanting. So marketing is all about truly understanding this target client and then delivering something relevant, unique, and of maximum value to them. And it won't be necessarily the clients you're working with right now, but it's going to be the ones you really want to help and the ones you love working with. You may not have actually experienced that yet, especially at the beginning when you haven't had that many clients. So how do we go about really understanding our true client avatar? There are three main areas that you want to be thinking about. First of all is their demographics, and I want you to get really specific here. It's no good saying, I want to work with women aged 25 to 50. Well, that is not specific enough. It's too broad. Your message for a 45-year-old is not going to be the same as your message for a 25-year-old, right? So it's way too broad. You've got to get really specific. So what I do instead is I get you to draw a stick figure, something like this. This is my stick figure. Terrible. You don't need to be, it doesn't need to be anything more sophisticated than this, but you can get creative. You can do it in colors. You can go wild, do it digitally if you want to. You can do whatever you like, depending on how artistic and creative you are. Now, I'm not either of those things particularly, so mine's just a stick. Now, this isn't actually mine because I haven't filled in all the details. However, what I want you to do with your stick is, this is one person. So I want you to get really clear that your ideal client avatar is not a group of people, it's one specific person. Now, that person is either male or female, or something along those lines in the middle. They have an age, one age, they have a job, they have an income, they have potentially have a family, whether they may be single or married, or they may have children or not, and they live in a certain area. Where do they live? Or what are their hobbies? Where do they hang out? What do they like to do? You need to get really deep into these kind of details. And then once you've got their kind of general, where are they, what sites do they like to look at, who do they follow, what social media platforms are they on, what events do they go to, what kind of education have they had, all the kind of logisticy stuff. I want you to get into their emotions. So on this side, so I've got all the logisticy stuff here, demographics, if you like. And then on this side, I've got a big section called pain, and I've got a big section called dreams. Now, I want you to get really into their heads and just work out, okay, what are they struggling with? So what keeps them awake at night? What are they missing out on? What is their biggest problem? What are they Googling? If I could just do this, then I would have that, or do this, or be this, right? What is that thing? So you might want to get a bit deep with some questions that you could consider. My ideal client is not good at whatever. My ideal client is uncertain of, or no longer wants to experience this, or is afraid of, or needs to get better at, or wants to feel this, and then get into their dreams. So what do they dream of? What do they want to feel like? What changes do they want to make to their lives? What do they need to become? Or what do they want to become? What do they want to get better at? What do they want to feel? What do they need to believe? What do they dream of? Now, when you get to that level of detail and you're putting this all over your stick figure, you're going to really have a deep understanding of what your ideal client needs from you. Okay. So when you be able to answer these questions, you're in your marketing and your message, you are going to speak to them directly. Now, don't worry that you're only going to attract a 35-year-old woman who lives in London and does this and does that. You're not saying that in your message. You're not saying, right, I only work with 35-year-olds who live in London who are married and have kids. It's not that. It's getting her or him into your head so that when you're writing your copy, when you're speaking your videos, when you're marketing and putting on social media, you've got that one person in mind. It doesn't mean that you won't work with everybody else too, but you have to focus your marketing so that those people will get you, and you will get more of your ideal clients than you will get those other people. Okay, and then you can say yes and no to every single inquiry you get anyway, but you want to be attracting the majority of the people that come to you need to be your ideal clients. And so if this represents your ideal client, this is the person you need to be talking to. So when you're doing videos, you can imagine that person sitting behind the camera. When you're writing your blog, imagine you're writing a letter to that person or an email to that person. You are going to get much, much better results when you do this. I absolutely guarantee it, because you have to really specify and niche down in your messaging. You will get those people that you speak to, and this 30-something woman from London or whoever is with these problems and needs these solutions are going to read your marketing or listen to your marketing message, and you are going to get such rapport and resonance with them that they're going to think, oh my goodness, she's inside my head. That's the reaction you want to get from your marketing. And you can't do that if you're trying to market to a massive group of men or women or whoever with a big problem, but it's not targeted enough because you haven't got that level of detail. So I hope that's been useful. I'd love to see your stick figure drawings. If you want to post them underneath or send them to me, that would be amazing. And I hope you're having a good Monday so far, and I'll see you very soon. Take care.